active at all times.
Hey guys, it's Lady J here with the Nova Pro pre-show for Paradise by the Dashboard Light. I always mix the names up. Last time it was Saturdays of Thunder. Now it's Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
My favorite Meatloaf song is Paradise by the Dashboard Light. So
I'm really hoping that during intermission they play it, and then Rachel and I are going to sing the girl part, and then all the dudes will sing the guy part.
Yes, and obviously we're going to steal the show, but that's fine.
Clearly, because girls rule and boys rule. We're also repping the Papa Hale shirts today. That's pretty great.
Confirmed.
Yes.
It's a shoot.
It is a shoot.
He's my favorite.
And we're fired up about it.
We're fired up.
Okay, so like I said, I'm Lady J of the Face Like Feministas. We're doing the Emil thinks he's real cool. So shoot, Emil and I are in a feud.
Oh.
One of the first pre-show, like he owned the joint, and I was like, "Dude, who are you? Get out of here!"
No,
he hadn't even introduced himself. I was like, "I don't know you."
Okay, great shirt. He's got Papa Hales on as well. So great choice there.
So 50-50, we're still in a feud. Look at us. We're gonna look like triplets.
50-50, we're still in a feud. But I wear this because Papa Hales approves people who are good at their roles, and I am the best in the business at what I do. You're making it. You're almost there. The Lady J and whatever you say is part of the Face Lock Femmes. Rachel Ellering, you're great.
I
like you. You have a good taste in t-shirts. But you, on the other hand, you need to stop the pandering, and you need to stop sucking up to Papa Hales to get somewhere. Papa Hales only approves people who've already made it. I've made it. She's made it. You're, I don't know.
Honey, anyway, Papa Hales sucks up to me, not the other way around. So don't even start.
Yeah, he's going to hear that, and he's going to have a problem with you.
No, he's going to hear that.
For sure.
That's right. Papa Hales is going to be wearing a Lady J shirt. Don't even start.
Yes.
So
now that was a horrible start.
So rude. So rude. So anyway, we are here at the Fairfax JCC where we're doing Paradise by the Dashboard Light. I swear to God, I'm going to get it right. At 8 o'clock tonight. Doors open at 7:30. So come. Tickets are $20. You can get them at the door. It's going to be off the chain. And one of the reasons why it's going to be so good is because we have the lovely Rachel Ellering here.
Hello.
Not just to do the podcast, she's gonna wrestle.
Yes, I'm also here to kick some ass. So
and she's gonna do a great job.
I sure hope so. Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan.
So, Rachel, where did you come from?
Where my mom and my dad.
Best answer ever. That was incredible.
Thank you.
We're also doing the podcast in front of a live studio audience. Hello, thanks for joining us.
Yeah. So I'm originally from Minnesota. I lived there my whole entire life up until I graduated with my bachelor's degree, and then I moved up to Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I trained with Lance Storm up there. And so I lived in Canada actually for 6 months. I did the 3-month training course, and then I just got booked all over Canada, and I stayed another 3. And the best choice I ever made because Lance is a genius. And the extra 3 months I was up there, I got to still spend every single day with him. And I was like the teacher assistant for his next class. So then you're just reabsorbing all the information. And so I'm so fortunate I got to be up there. But now, directly from Calgary, I moved down to Orlando, Florida. So
what are you doing down there in Orlando, Florida?
Oh, right now I just wrestle. Yeah, I just wrestle. But I really enjoy Orlando because I can't do winter anymore. I'm
from New York. I totally understand.
And Minnesota's the worst, right? And so just a couple weeks ago, I walked outside to get my mail. And it's late at night, and it was, 54 degrees or something like that. And I'm walking to my mailbox, and I thought, gosh, I just need a jacket. It's so cold out right now. So I pull up my weather app, and I look, and I laughed at myself because 54 in Minnesota is a heat wave, you guys.
Yeah.
And I, at that moment, realized I am no longer a Minnesotan. I'm a Floridian. So
when I moved down to Virginia from Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo, bless your soul, sweetheart.
Yes, yeah. I'm used to being like absolutely buried in snow. So we had this crazy snowstorm last January where I think we got like 4.5 feet of snow. Yes. And I'm out there shoveling, and they're like, "You're from Buffalo, you should know how to deal with this." And I'm like, no, in Buffalo they would have had all the roads plowed, and there would have been school and work.
Yes.
I don't know how to deal with this. You're actually like stuck in your house and you can't go anywhere. So
the world stops for a bit.
So you brought up a point that is something that we've been talking about on some of the podcasts and stuff lately, which is training. So let me ask you a question. While you were training with Lance, were there other women training with you?
I was the only girl in my class. And then even in the class I was a teacher assistant for, only girl. There were no girls in the class. And so I was the only one, but it's a common theme throughout my life that I'm the only girl doing certain things. So in 5th and 6th grade, I played football, and I was the only girl.
Awesome.
And I love football still to this day. And so go Vikings, even though we're kind of on a little rough stretch right now, but whatever. So I played football, and that was just, of course, it's unheard of that, a girl plays football. And actually later on at the end of middle school, I got asked to try out for the varsity football team at my high school. But that's volleyball season. And so I played volleyball, basketball, softball.
Nice.
But I was good at football, right? And so that was great. And then in college, I competed in powerlifting for 2 years, which is a very male-dominated sport and environment as well. Just like any gym environment, not even when you're competitive with it, but especially when you're competitive with it. And so, for example, I was on Team USA. I won a bronze medal for the U.S. in 2014.
Awesome.
And so,
yay, that's right.
America. And so such a cool experience I will never forget, and I'm so grateful for. So I'm over in Johannesburg, South Africa for the World Championships, and we're there with Team USA, and I just realized it's still 70-30. 70% of the team is men, and the 30 is women. And so everywhere I've gone, and now being in wrestling, it's very much the same story. Right. So very common theme that I'm the only girl everywhere I go, but I live my life by like one word, and it's unconventional. I've always just done everything unconventional, and I love it. And so I love that word so much. I have it tattooed on one of my Achilles. And so
that's awesome.
Yes, it's like my little life mantra.
So then now, do you find that you wrestle more men or more women when you get booked?
So I wrestle more women. I think I've only wrestled a guy. My 3rd match ever, I wrestled a guy, and I won. Scott Justice in Red Deer, Alberta, Canada. Hey, in front of like 15 people. Incredible. And so I've wrestled maybe 3 or 4 guys. And so not many, but it's very easy for me to work with them because I trained with all guys. And then working so extensively with Lance, he's a bigger guy too. He's not, a little 5'6" scrawny guy or something. No, he's a grown man. And so, and then even now training in Orlando, most of it is with guys. If I ever get to get in the ring.
When you wrestle women, do you feel like you're at a disadvantage?
No, not at all. I almost feel at an advantage because training with guys, I do a lot of power moves, right? I was a power lifter, and so I do quite a few power moves. And I always think if I can pull it off, everything I tried on Lance first. So, for example, a TKO is my finish. First time I ever did it, it was on Lance, and he weighs 230. So, me picking up a 150-pound chick and throwing her around is a piece of cake, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I feel at an advantage. And I've found that almost all of the women I've worked with, we all come with one common goal. And if we're the only women's match on the show, or if it's an all women's show, we all want to have the best match of the night, and we're all there to wrestle, and it's like, we never think about, we're the only women in the locker room tonight. Every now and then you do, because it's obvious at times, but at the end of the day, we're wrestlers, and we're here to put on the best possible matches and show for the crowd, just like the guys are.
Right.
Yeah.
So from the perspective of someone who's been at almost all of the Nova Pro shows that they've done this year, with the exception of the first show in January because snow.
So we're back to the winter thing.
Will tell you as a bit of a warning is that Brittney Blake, who you're going to be wrestling tonight, has put on probably some of the best women's matches.
I love it. I love hearing that.
So where is your mindset going into this match?
I want to leave here tonight, and I've never wrestled in Virginia, and so this will be my first time probably in front of a lot of new people who have never even heard of me, right? But it's my goal, no matter where I am, if I've been there or not, to have people leave that night, and when they look back on our match, it's not even just about me, it takes 2 of us to have a beautiful dance out there.
Yeah.
And so I always want people to look back and just think, damn, that was a good wrestling match. That was a good little women's wrestling. No, that was a good wrestling match. Like, those chicks can go. And so that's my goal at every single show.
I'm sure that the 2 of you will achieve that.
I sure hope so.
I'm pumped.
I'm pumped.
So another
I'm fired
thing,
up.
Fired up. That's right.
Fired up.
Fired up. So to bring up that we were talking about on the pre-show
pre-show.
before the camera went
because
on.
I'm chatty Cathy and just don't stop
And
talking.
so am I. Rachel and I were talking about like being the only girls here and finally having someone to talk to. It's pretty great. So one of the things that I mentioned is the fact that we both know Papa Hales, who just talks about you, like just light comes out of you all over. It's lovely.
Sweetheart.
But also my friend Courtney Rose saw you because she did commentary at a show was it in Chicago?
It was in Chicago, yeah.
So what happened on that show? It was nothing big, really.
No,
It was
not
just
the
a very
greatest
small
night
show.
of my career at all. So that night in Chicago, this was about a month ago, I want to say. There was a women's tournament for the new women's champion there, the Resistance Pro champion. And so I was in the tournament and I ended up winning my very first title. Yay. And so that isn't even the special part of the story. So there's two very special things for me. One, my mom was there. And so she drove down from Minnesota. And she was there in the crowd and got to see me win my first title. I didn't spill the beans, and so it was a surprise to her. And so to share that moment with her, my mom is my best friend. And from the moment I was little 16-year-old self and I said, Mom, I'm going to be a wrestler. She, okay, you're going to be the best one then.
That's
she
awesome.
just is my number one supporter. She's my hero. I love her to pieces. Today's her birthday.
Happy birthday, Mom!
Birthday! Your lemon meringue pie. I love you. And so that was very special. And then two, a very raw, organic moment happened that I just could never have imagined, and you can't even plan it. So
those are the best.
The best. That's wrestling, right? The best stuff just happens. And so I win. I roll out of the ring. I'm hugging my mom. And then I turn around and there's these three little girls there. And they're maybe 7 or 8 years old. And they just give me these big hugs. And they just wanted to touch the belt. And so I told them to roll in the ring. And we get in the ring and we all hold up the belt. And they're hugging me. And the next thing I know, I turn around and there's 15 little girls. There were like 2 little boys. But we're, for the moral, we'll just go. So there's 15 little girls in the ring and they're all just coming at me with hugs and they just want to hold the belt and touch it and selfies with me, which reminded me, I was like, God, when I was 8, I didn't have a phone. Am I old? And so I had that split second thought, but
I didn't have a phone until I was 16.
Right?
Yeah.
People
didn't have phones
I was like,
when
look
they were
at this,
children.
they're Snapchatting this. This is amazing. And so anyways, they're all giving me hugs and it was so special. And then the best thing, I'm over at my merch table 5 minutes later and I'm still sweaty and I'm just cannot believe this is happening in my life. And all the little girls come over there and one of them asked, I sell these bracelets with my name on them, right? And she asked me how much they are. And I said, oh, they're $5. And she reaches in her pocket and she pulls out, I'm going to cry because it's so great. She pulls out 2 $1 bills. Oh, God, it's just the best. And that's all she had, right? This little girl, like, that is everything she has. And she was willing to give that to me just to like remember that, right? And so I was like, no, you like keep your $2. And so I gave all the little girls their free bracelets and they were so excited. And then another one comes over to me and she's crying. And Courtney, I think, tweeted something about this. The little girl is crying and she comes over to me and I was like, honey, it's okay. What's wrong? And she's like, well, I just like, thank you for the bracelet. And I can't believe like I got to be in the ring with you. And then she looks at me and she said, I just want to grow up and be like you. And then I'm like, oh my gosh. And my mom is seeing this and I'm just bawling. I'm like, this is the coolest moment of my
That's exactly what it should always be about.
It's the best
Stuff
because
like that. Yeah.
So when I was 16, I stumbled on YouTube upon Trish versus Lita, main event of Raw, December 6, 2004, Charlotte, North Carolina. It's still like my favorite thing.
Yep.
And I watched that and seeing Lita, badass chick, like baggy pants, tattoos, dyed hair, and then they're just going at it and they're killing it, right? I watched that and I thought, I have to do this. This is everything I love. It's everything I'm good at. And what my goal is in wrestling. Do you want to win X amount of titles or do you want to work for a certain company? And my goal is I want to lead, like when I'm done, I want one girl, no matter who it is, where they are, to just be able to say, because of you, I was motivated to chase this unconventional, crazy, it doesn't have to be wrestling, this unconventional, crazy dream that I have, and I'm doing it. And I was inspired by you to do that. And so in that moment, I was like, I'm doing the right thing. You know, it was just, I'll never forget that ever. I just felt like in that moment, I knew 100% I was born to be a wrestler, and
That's awesome.
I hopefully am doing it the right way. So,
And that's exactly why here it's a family show. And so we
Yeah.
try to, I mean, like it can get a little crazy sometimes,
of course,
but like
it's wrestling.
but we try to make it a family friendly environment because we do want to encourage people to live out their dreams and to
Yeah.
overcome adversities and never let anybody tell you that you can't do something because
Absolutely.
you can.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that's pretty great.
It was so special. I'll never ever forget it. I've got Courtney actually was the one who took a bunch of pictures of them in the ring
Yes,
with me.
I saw
And
those.
it's so funny because the look on my face, I'm just like, oh my gosh, look at all these little girls. I didn't even realize there were that many kids there
Yeah.
until they're all in the ring with you. And you're like, look at this. Wow. Okay.
So when Courtney did commentary that night, I had
And she is a dear. She is so sweet.
She is the sweetest.
I think I gave her like 16 and a half hugs. And it was very funny when she was sitting there on her computer doing stuff, and I'm in the ring with the girl I was having my first match with that night because it was a tournament.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I look over, and the night before she was at AAW and she did Chris Hero's makeup.
Yep.
Because he was with Matt Hardy. And so I go over and I'm like, hi, I'm Rachel. You did Chris's makeup last night. And I'm fairly spunky and very chatty. And my energy is very high and not at all shy, quiet. And she just looked up. She's like, okay, hi, nice to meet you. And so I just totally bombarded her. And then by the end of the night, I was like, oh, I think she's warmed up to my energy. And then she's
awesome. She's really, really great. But she, like right before she did that one, I had done commentary for a match here. And so we were talking about like doing commentary for the first time, whatever. And then so when she came back, I was like, so how'd it go? And she's like, Rachel with the title. I don't even know what to do. I was like, I'm so glad that didn't happen to me, because if somebody incredible had like won something and had a moment like that, I would have just been hysterical crying on commentary, and it would have been really embarrassing.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
But that's really awesome. Well,
Very.
I don't want to take up all your time. I know you have some things to do and gear to get into.
I could wrestle in this. It's all good. Papa Hales would dig it.
Papa Hales would love it
He
if
would.
everyone got into the ring in his t-shirt. That would be
I
awesome.
suppose my Nike hoodie and my sneakers and stuff won't do the job tonight. So
That's all right. So Rachel Ellering is on the card. Make sure you come down. 7:30 doors,
Yay.
8 o'clock show, $20 to get in. That's really all you need to
it'll be
know.
a great show.
It's going to be awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
No
I appreciate
problem.
it. Yay. Now I get to go kick some butt.
Do it. So we're supposed to be having some other people coming on. Money Green is supposed to be joining me. Brian, who does the announcing, is supposed to be coming in. But let's talk about the card a little bit before someone just comes and sits down next to me. You know how these boys are. So in case you need a reason to come down here, which you shouldn't, it's wrestling and it's great. And I'm telling you, I don't lie to you people. You know I don't lie to you. Our friend Eric Royal, who's wonderful and undefeated, who was on the podcast last time, is wrestling Chris Hero. Hi. He's walking by. That's why I'm talking about him. Which is going to be, I believe the term is barn burner. It's going to be out of control. I just saw Chris Hero wrestle twice, like 2 weekends ago at Evolve, and he's incredible. And we already know that Eric puts on an amazing show every time he gets in the ring and with everyone he gets in the ring. So the two of them together, I can just imagine what the connection, the chemistry is going to be like. So you have to make sure that you're here to see if Eric can continue his undefeated streak, or if Chris Hero ends 2016 on a sour note for Eric Royal. Also on the card, we have Rachel Ellering versus Brittney Blake in a women's match, which is also going to be awesome because Brittney has always put on a good show here in Nova Pro, and Rachel, as we just saw, is lovely but also quite the ass kicker. So stay tuned, everyone. What else do we have here? Brandon Day versus John Kerman. We've got a couple of tag matches here. Rayo versus Money Green, which hopefully Money Green will be able to come out and talk to us about. Also returning to Nova Pro, we haven't seen him since the summer, is Donovan Dijak, who's been very, very busy, who's going to be wrestling Jonathan Gresham, who is the CZW World Champion right now. I mean, that's a tough dude. But we also know that Dijak is a really tough guy. Although, Eric Royal again, he made not quick work of Dijak. They put on an incredible match, but he did win. So maybe Dijak's coming in here with a chip on his shoulder. Who knows? We also have a Survivor Series tag match, which is a team of Chet Sterling, who's joined by Bo Crockett and Innocent Isaiah of Cutie and the Beast, as well as Dan Barry and Chuck Taylor of an officer and a gentleman, against Logan Easton LaRoe's team. You're not coming over here again, are you? Okay. Logan Easton LaRoe's team. Logan's going to be joined by Bobby Shields, who is just really making quick work of everyone on the show lately. Alexander James and the Carnies, Team IOU, who just beat Cutie and the Beast last time, and they had been on their own undefeated streak, which is incredible. So I think it's going to be a pretty vicious head-to-head, and I'm excited about all of that. But the card is absolutely stacked, so you have to make sure you're here. 7:30 doors, 8 o'clock show. Tickets are $20. Come on down and join us. You know you're not doing anything except trying to digest what you ate yesterday. So let's see. What else do we have? Yes, Storm of Entrails, who had a match last time against Sanjay and John Kerman, is going to be face-to-face with Jeff Cannonball and his special guest of Matt Tremont. So that's going to be a pretty violent match, too. You can never quite figure out what Storm of Entrails is going to do, along with their special guest, Riley Madison. So you're going to want to make sure you're here for that one, too. That's definitely going to be vicious. What else do we have here? Oh, I mentioned Brandon Day versus John Kerman. Brandon Day managed to beat Timothy Dance last week in a no-holds-barred match in which they broke a table, which is just incredible. Watched it happen right in front of me. It was pretty frightening. Give me a second here while I have a drink of water. Stop harassing people, would you?
He deserved it.
Trying to cause trouble. I'm trying to do a podcast here.
Yeah, keep trying. Maybe one day you'll get it right.
Do you have a problem?
No? Seems like you do, though.
I'm the one in front of the camera. If you have a problem, you're more than welcome to sit here. I don't need the attention. I get paid to do this, honey.
What's that?
This is my job. I get paid to do this.
Congratulations. I'm glad you're succeeding in your whatever it is that you're doing. That's fine. To talk about people who are actually doing things.
It's rude to talk to someone from off camera. Like I said, you're welcome to join me if you would like to.
Eat on camera as well. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be double rude. I'll just be singular rude and just speak for you. What you doing, man? What's going on? Are you all right now?
Could you have him removed, please? He's really disrupting this podcast. It's
I'll leave.
I'm getting security to get rid of Emil. Thank you. Bye-bye. So rude. Just the rudest. Thanks, Statsy. I appreciate it. Anyway, as I was saying, you never send a man to do a woman's job. And this, by far, is a woman's job. Oh, good. Brian's coming back. Brian's going to talk to me about the card in a minute. It's really filling up here, people. You can't see. Let me show you. Tons of people already here. You don't want to miss out. You absolutely don't want to miss out. So, like I said, the doors were 7:30, which is in 19 minutes from now. It's at the Fairfax JCC. Show is at 8 o'clock. Stacked cards. Tickets are $20. Make sure that you're here. I'm going to be here in my Papa Hales shirt. Papa Hales is going to be here. Rachel Ellering is already here. She's getting changed somewhere into what, I don't know, because she's already adorable. I'm so glad I got to talk to her. Even if nobody else comes on the podcast, and even though I had to deal with Emil being a doofus. That's what I'm calling him, a doofus, because I'm not going to say anything ruder than that. Some people like him. I don't know why. That's fine. I just want to make sure I haven't forgotten anything. We talked about Donovan Dijak. We talked about, this Chris Hero versus Eric Royal thing is really quite incredible. I don't think they've ever wrestled each other before. I could be wrong about that. I've been wrong before, but there's just so much riding on this because Chris Hero's had quite an incredible year. He has wrestled in so many different places and had such an incredible record this year, but Eric Royal is undefeated here at Nova Pro, and I can't imagine him ending the year by missing out on a perfect year. I don't want him to miss out on having a perfect year, but I also don't want Chris Hero to lose. I don't know who to root for during this match. I'm probably just gonna have to hide my head and peek through my fingers or something like that. Oh, by the way, if you are not in Virginia, you can check out shows on Smart. Someone's gonna tell me how to say this right. Smart Mark Video. After the fact, and because they tape them, which is great. So you have to make sure you go back through the whole catalog and check them all out. If you check out the show Saturday of Thunder, which is from October, I do commentary for Cutie and the Beast versus Team IOU. You can hear the actual literal disappointment in my voice when Cutie and the Beast loses, as we were talking about before during Rachel Ellering's interview. You can also follow the Nova Pro Twitter, which you absolutely should, which is at VA Wrestling. Make sure you're following Rachel too. She spells her name with an extra A, so it's RACHAELLELLERING. You want to come sit with me for a minute? Sure. All right. Look who it is. It's one of our favorite people to come on the podcast is Frankie Picard. What's going on, dude?
All right. Having fun.
You been busy?
Yeah, definitely been busy.
I follow you on Twitter. You've been everywhere lately.
Yeah. Been everywhere. Last match was me and Jimmy Lloyd.
How was that?
Insane.
Yeah?
Yeah. Put that guy through a ladder.
Through a ladder? Damn, dude.
Yes.
I'm thinking about putting Emil through a ladder. What do you think about it? He deserves it.
He deserves it?
He's got a sassy attitude. He's trying to interfere with my podcast. He's so rude. He's yelling things at me from off camera. I don't even know what's up with him. I had to have security escort him because I can't even. That's all right. So, but you're here. You weren't here last time,
Nope.
But you're here now.
Yeah.
Can you tell the people what you're doing, or is it a secret?
I don't know what I'm doing.
You don't even know. It's a secret from you.
Yeah, it's a secret from me.
But I'm really excited because the last time that you were here, you were on a team and you finally got that W you've been after lately.
Yeah, definitely. Ryan?
Yep.
Yeah, Ryan surprised me. It's wow, he actually got the win for us. So I was ooh, happy. He's a good person. He's a good dude.
And he's really, I feel like he's come a long way watching him over the course of the year. I think he's working with some people who are really helping him find himself in the ring. Because I feel like that's kind of hard sometimes to figure out who you are in the ring.
Yeah, definitely. It takes a while to get in, how can I put it, into the system with yourself.
Yep.
And yes, it took me a while to actually get the rhythm from it, because it took me a while just trying to figure out who was Frankie Picard.
Yeah.
It's even though it's, my real name is Frankie Picard, so it's kind of weird because it's your real life and then your wrestling life, and you're trying to merge them two together. So it's so weird because it's my personality.
Right.
And it shouldn't even be weird for me because I'm a Gemini.
That's awesome.
So it's hey, the Two-Face actually it's crazy. I should get used to this. But actually, no, just Frankie Picard is just me. That's the regular person. That's putting my time and effort in and work hard. So it's gonna push me to the level.
Yeah, I've always wondered about what if like the day before you have to wrestle, like your basement fills up with water or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what if something crazy is going on in your personal life? Like, they tell you need a new transmission in your car, it's going to cost you $2,000. Like, how do you check that stuff before you get in the ring?
I don't know. I guess just for me, it's like the bell. Like,
turn one thing off, turn the other thing on.
Yeah, it's like everything happens for a reason. Everybody in the world is going to go into the ring with like a lot of stuff in their system,
right? In
their minds or their feelings. But as far as with me, I always go in the ring and it's like it's fuzzy and it feels weird. But then the live wire, that's what I call people that's like that always chant Frankie Picard or Frankie Power. I call them live wires because basically whatever they do, it feeds into me and it gives me like a lot of energy. It makes things that's impossible possible.
Yeah. It's like drinking a cup of coffee. That's awesome. It's
like drinking coffee and you have Red Bull right there. And somehow them two should not mix, but it does.
That's awesome. So this is the last show of the year. We're not going to have another one until sometime early next year. Are you trying to leave an impact on people's minds here in Northern Virginia?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it might be a couple months before they see you again here. So do you go into the ring trying to make sure that you leave enough of a lasting impression on them that they're still chanting your name when you come back? Are you worried at all about having to win them back? Especially because you weren't here last time.
Right. Never do. I always, like, the crowd always follows me. Mm-hmm. So social media is like the awesomest thing ever. Mm-hmm. So even if I leave, they still see me on social media.
Yeah.
So I think it was like, not the last show, but the show before that, I came in and the crowd gave me like this standing ovation.
Yeah, the last time we were here, right?
Yeah, and it felt like, did I walk into an NXT or WWE?
Yeah, it was wild. Yes. It was really, really wild. So, and just watching you interact with like the people who are hanging out here in the lobby and stuff, like that's really awesome.
Yeah, it's always, I like to mingle with the crowd because I like to give back, say thank you in the way. Mm-hmm. Because without them, it wouldn't be no Frankie Picard. It wouldn't be Nova Pro. It wouldn't be anything.
And you know what? They sense that. I mean, just speaking as a wrestling fan, that like we definitely we can sense when the wrestlers are appreciative of us. And know that like it really is a relationship between the performers and the audience. The same way it is with like theater or music. That like you need both sides to have a connection there. Otherwise it doesn't work. Because I can't imagine somebody getting in the ring and they're just being silent. Like if I was in the audience, I would want to crawl under my chair and die if that happened. I've never seen it happen, but whew, that sounds awful.
I've seen it done a couple of times. When people come like, yeah, baby.
They're like, who is this for?
Yeah, and like the crickets get more cheers than that. And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, besides that, it's just have fun and live life.
Yeah.
So that's basically what you have to do.
Well, this place is really filling up, so I'm going to have to go soon. But thank you for coming and chatting with me. I appreciate it. Frankie Picard's going to be here. We're best friends. Yes. It's so great. Yes. Frankie always comes and stops by. But I have another guest. A very special, much more dapperly dressed than I am guest.
Stop it. It's not really. I mean, it's part of the gimmick, so I don't know. It's part of the job. Good. I have like a mirror, too, I can work with.
Yeah. Nice. Your tie looks good.
Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
How was your Thanksgiving?
Good. It was eventful, but it was I got to stay close to home, which is nice because I'm here. So it's always nice. Like I live about a 22-minute drive from here, so it's like this is the easiest commute. It's the easiest drive for me to do. So, but I'm excited. It's gonna be a really big show. It's a nice way to end the year. So,
I was just talking to Rachel Ellering before, who is the nicest person in the world.
She really is. I was getting her like ringing. Whenever someone new comes by, I have to get like the ring announce stuff so I can act something resembling a professional. And she was just super sweet. She was so nice. It was like such a pleasure to like just chat with her for like those like 2-3 minutes. So
I did warn her though that Brittney Blake puts on some of the best women's matches we've had here in Overpro. So she's definitely got her work cut out for her. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, and Rachel Ellering's been kind of just where like.
She just won her first title like last month.
I can't remember the promotion, but yeah.
She said it. The people have heard the name already. I don't remember it either.
There you go. So yeah, it's going to be a great match, especially since like kind of happened. It wasn't initially announced that way, so kind of just was a last minute change.
Yep.
Jordan Grace unfortunately injured, could not wrestle tonight, so it's Rachel Ellering. So I guess hopefully we'll see Jordan in 2017. I'm sure.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really exciting.
Let's talk a little bit about this Survivor Series match we got going on.
Gosh, I mean, it's like every wrestling fan's dream to be involved somehow in a Survivor Series match, right? It's like, so we have two just teams that just kind of pair off in a nice way. We have a team captained by Logan Easton Moreau, a team captained by Chet Sterling, who have kind of crossed paths a couple times, and they kind of just, Chet, I believe, named his team almost immediately. It was Cutie and the Beast, pretty solid pick there, and an Officer and a Gentleman in Chuck Taylor and Dan Barry. Who had a really solid performance, had a really good showing at our last show in October. And then Logan just came out and said, and it was kind of who you expected. It was Alexander James. It was Bobby Shields. They've been kind of, and then they picked the Carnies, formerly known Team IOU. So two of their members tonight. It's going to be Carrie Awful and Trip Cassidy, Blue Eyed Devil. So no Nick Iggy, who was there at our October show. But still, really a dangerous trio that's really been kind of coming up in. Their names have been showing up a lot more lately, which is always good because they're great. They're a great tag team. I mean, little mind games. They dealt Cutie and the Beast their first loss in a year. No one expected. I didn't expect it. No one seemed to know what was happening. It was just like that couldn't have been real.
Yeah.
So it was.
So just talking about who's on these teams. So we know that Bobby and Alexander James and Logan have sort of been rolling together lately. And we've seen them sort of have each other's backs. In fact, Logan and Alexander James were actually the ones who beat Chuck Taylor and Dan Barry last time.
It's almost like Logan kind of saw that team get announced by Chet and said, all right, we got the guys who just beat your team.
Right.
And that's a pretty big mind game. Logan kind of Logan lost to Chet Sterling back in, I think it was March or earlier in this year.
Yeah. But Logan's also come a long way too. So
yeah, and he and Chet, it's kind of like they're just almost destined to kind of meet again. Like they met separate ways, come back around the way, kind of there. And at the last show, Logan kind of Ultimate Championship, and I think this should be mine. I think I should be your next challenger. And he's been kind of saying that for a while. I think that kind of happened when Cedric Alexander had the belt. Logan came out and said, I think I should be one coming in line, and then it kind of started this little brawl at the end of the show. So
yeah.
It's an interesting set of teams.
I do think, though, that Chet's team has a slight advantage in that he really intelligently picked two tag teams. And really, Survivor Series matches, there's a lot of tag action that happens. And so it could be advantageous to partner up with two tag teams who are used to tagging in and out and figuring out how to work two guys into a longer match.
And you got Chet, who's been in CWF, he's been working a lot of tag team matches as well before he had the Ultra J Championship.
Right.
I think he and Trevor Lee, was it, or he and Andrew Everett? I can't remember exactly. Sorry, Stutzy and CWF folks. I'm still trying to get caught up and remember all the stuff. I know Chet was Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Champion for a while. So tag team wrestling he's no stranger to that either. We've only seen him in singles. This is a first time thing. And then that's the thing. You know, you have Logan and his crew of Alexander James and Bobby Shields, kind of more loosely associated, and then the Cardis. Are those two gonna get along together? Who knows? You know, there's a lot of kind of pockets of factions here. We'll see if that kind of works to their advantage or not.
Yeah, we also have a lot of big names on the card this time. We've got returning Donovan Dijak versus the CCW champion John Grisham. That match is going to be like ridiculous.
That's like, I mean, you don't want to say showcase match, but like neither of these guys are guys you see every month when you come to Nova Pro Wrestling. You know, Jonathan Gresham making his Nova debut. Donovan Dijak wrestled Eric Royal back in the summer.
Yep.
And here they are, just kind of, they're doing a, you know, they're in a match together, and this isn't a match you can't see too often. You get to like see these guys and see, you know, here you have a CCW champion, a guy who's been very close to Ring of Honor championship gold, a lot of times. You know, who's gonna prevail in that one? That's kind of one of those where there's almost. You know, the stakes are high, and yet there's still no stakes. So there's like, if there's like nothing to lose in this one. It's like they're both here to just prove they're better. So throw it all out there and see what happens.
And then of course we have just an incredible match. I can't even believe it's like in my backyard. Eric Royal is defending his undefeated streak against Chris Hero.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, it's one of those things where you see Eric Royal get these top name opponents.
And I feel like they've just been getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
I mean, like we've had, you know, Donovan Dijak, we've had David Starr, I'm gonna forget a few of them. Tracy Williams. I mean, and all these different type of opponents. Like they're not all power wrestlers. They're not all submission reps. They're not all just, you know, grapplers. There's a variety of people that he's taken. Tim Donst as well, Frankie Picard, you know, and he's just done it over and over and over. There's got to be a point where it's like, okay, what's the biggest challenge we can throw at him? And I mean, who's having a better year than Chris Hero?
I don't think anybody.
In wrestling, I mean, you know,
no.
a lot of people are saying
Eric Royal.
A lot of people are saying that. A lot of people are saying 2016 is a pretty crappy year. I think Chris Hero's having an okay year.
Yeah.
As an understatement for 2016. It's
yeah.
Like, the guy just has great match after great match, and has just been doing so much amazing stuff. I think Royal is one of those guys that doesn't get looked at outside of the area enough. That this is really, I don't want to say a reward for that kind of a streak, that it kind of is. You know, it's like, okay, let's challenge you a different way. Let's give you something else. And I mean, this is a great match for both these guys, because I don't think they've ever met before. I can't imagine that.
No, I was just saying the same thing too. I can't imagine that they've ever met each other before. One last thing too that I wanted to bring up, we've got a pretty insane match in terms of some story that we've seen developed over time here in Nova Pro, and that's Ryo versus Money Green. Yeah,
it's kind of come to a head. It's kind of one of those things that's happened since the very beginning of the. It's a story that's been told from the very beginning of Nova Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
From our first show in 2016. This is literally a year in the making. Yeah. Let's go ahead and say that. You kind of feel it. It's like when you're boiling water and it kind of starts to simmer a little bit. Then in the pot, it starts to rattle a little bit, and you see these moments every so often. You know, there's a little bit of disagreement. You know, Ryo refuses to use the wooden stool in the 8-man tag match.
Right.
You know, he shoves Money Green down, or he just kind of walks out on him. And finally, that was it. And I was the one filming the promo where Ryo was just saying, "This is it," and then Money Green interrupts him and says, "All right, fine. You want to put your money where your mouth is. I'll up your contract if I beat you. You want to be a free man? Go ahead, but you got to go through me." And it's kind of waiting for this moment to happen. And I think the crowd's gonna be ready for that. I think they're gonna be really behind Ryo, because the last match he had was Eric Royal.
That match was incredible too. I have to say, because I got to interview Eric Royal right before that match, and I said to him, what is your feeling going into this? Because you know that if he beats you, he's free. I'm like, don't you want that for him? And he was like, yeah, I do, but I got to protect me.
Oh yeah.
And that just shows that like Eric Royal was not pulling any punches, and Ryo could hang. Like he really, really could. And when you look at him, he's like kind of a slender guy and stuff. Yeah. He's not really as big as Eric Royal is, but I mean, he caught Eric Royal off guard a couple of times. You know what I think is really important, and people underestimate this a lot of times. Your style is one thing, and that's great, and having strength and having speed, but being smarter than your opponent can be a make or break.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes you're evenly matched. You're just as big, or you're just as fast, you're just as strong. But if you can be one step ahead of them, that's going to be the match.
No doubt. And we were actually saying, and apologies if this is not what happened with Eric Royal, but like Kevin Ford and I were on commentary for that match. If you have the DVD, you obviously heard that. Sorry.
Is it where is it Smart
Mark Video that's
Okay.
gonna have it, I think.
Yes,
Yeah, you can get
okay.
it on smartmarkvideo.com. There you go. There's the plug.
We need like something that
yeah,
runs
right,
along the
like a lower
bottom.
third there. And we were saying, like, early on, it almost seemed like Eric Royal wasn't taking him as seriously. Like, he just kind of figured, okay, I'll roll through this guy and move to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was just kind of this moment. You can kind of see Eric Royal start to realize, like, oh man, he's almost getting me. I gotta get up to my level that I'm used to. I mean, and that's nothing against Eric Royal. I think he kind of underestimated him going into it, but he adjusted and came out with the win. But we were so close to thinking that Ryo was going to win. There were a couple moments. There was one in particular, I can't remember what it was, that we were just like, this is it. And
it was like
just
they
a
were
last-
they were outside the ring, and then it came back inside the
Yeah.
ring because Ryo caught him off guard a couple of times with those
So
like Pele kicks, and it
took
was
one
like,
of those, yeah, one of
holy
those
cow.
moves. And his kicks are just fly. I mean, you know,
They make
he looks-
Daniel Bryan really proud, I'm sure.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's just, you know, that's all just your hip and the torque in your hip, and that's just.
And that's
good
going
kicks.
into his match with Money Green. This is definitely something that, I mean, both Ryo had something to protect, right? So
Mhm.
Eric Royal's trying to earn his freedom from his contract with Money Green, or Ryo was trying to earn his freedom from his contract with Money Green. Eric Royal's
Mhm.
trying to protect his undefeated streak, right?
Yeah.
That match ends, but now Ryo, I feel like, is coming into this match with Money Green almost more like has so much to win.
Yeah.
He has so much is on the line. So much.
The stakes
I don't
if you
even want to
lose-
say so much to lose, because if he loses, he's just going to be where he already is. He's
for
got
an
so
even-
much
for
to
an even longer
gain.
contract.
Yeah, he's got so much to gain, so much potential ahead of him.
It's all to do, and he's got to watch out, because, you know, if we've seen anything from Brandon Money Green, it's that he can play mind games with you. He can get you out of your element. He can, and again, that relationship they've had,
Right.
you know, it's not a friendly one necessarily, but
Right.
it's a relationship, and if his head might be a long night for him. That's the thing. That's the thing that worries me for someone who would like to see Ryo on his own do, you know,
Well, the one thing that
see what he can do by himself.
I know can be helpful to a lot of the people who wrestle here at Nova Pro is when the audience is squarely behind them.
Mhm.
And I think the audience, especially when he was wrestling Eric Royal, there were actually a lot more chances for Ryo than I was really
Kind
expecting.
of felt weird because you didn't want to see that. Neither person wanted to see either of them lose, and you're just like, oh, come on, you know, you got something to fight for on both sides. It's like, well, how do you pick a side? It just kind of becomes.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
sides in this match.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, no,
I think
it's-
everyone's going to be squarely behind Ryo, and I'm
pretty
not.
safe. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there's proud to react in a negative way from its Brandon Money Green. I think he's shown that.
He's a jerk.
Last
Last
I
thing,
said that.
I'll tell him I said it. I don't care. I'm not afraid of him. I'm a little afraid of him. Just like kind of. It's the mustache thing. It's weird and creeps me
I want
out.
to see how Ryo kicks him first to see if I can
Yeah.
see how that happens if I got a chance.
So last thing that I do want to talk about is that there's another tag match on the card, and that this is speaking of people I'm actually afraid of. Storm of Entrails, which I swore I'd never say on this podcast, against Cannonball. Brought a
Jeff
friend.
Cannonball brought back Matt Tremont, the Bulldozer,
Mhm.
and this is really interesting because these are a bunch of CZ. I actually joked with one of them earlier. I was like, so it's CZW guys in the South. This makes it ultra violent.
Ultra violent. I love
It's
that.
ultra violent, and I
That's
want
awesome.
to I want to take credit for that. I am pointing that if anyone,
Ultra
if any of the
violent.
people say that. So we got the Storm of Entrails, who have been just really just tearing it up. Winning or losing end, they've left chaos in their wake.
Mhm.
You know, I joked, in one of the lines I said during their match with the Sandwich Squad was, "You will not know them by the trail of dead because what they leave is not recognized.
Yeah.
You can't recognize it anymore. Like, they are just that destructive." But here you got the Bulldozer Matt Tremont. You got Jeff Cannonball, who is formerly tag team partner of Dan O'Hare. He kicked him to the curb, found Schlack. Cannonball didn't like it too much, smashed a pumpkin, which my girlfriend carved, by the way. That was my girlfriend's pumpkin that was carved and brought to the show, and Cannonball grabbed it and smashed it over Dan O'Hare's head.
It's a good thing we like Cannonball.
Good thing she scooped out the guts because, it wasn't just a mess on the cut. But here's the thing. We also got George Gatton, who is been kind of – he's here. We saw him, a good buddy of mine. He put out a video saying, "Look, I'm in Cannonball and Tremont's corner. I'm the one, I'm ready to throw down too because I'm tired of Schlack and O'Hare." So I don't know what's going to happen with that, if that's going to play into it, but
I have to say though, I don't know if anyone can stop Schlack. He's sort of like a force. I wouldn't get in his way. He's fine. But I think this is going to be a really intense match, especially because you have Dan O'Hare and Cannonball facing off against each other.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I'm going to safely find a spot by the commentary booth over by the camera and not be by ringside because I don't want to get caught in that wake. Those guys, O'Hare and Schlack, terrify me, and I'm going to kind of stay at a safe distance. I had fun introducing them, but I was still, there's a little bit of truth in comedy, and there was definitely some fear that was easily added to that. So,
see what the Snack Society guys just carried in here. It's either a telescope or a gigantic sandwich.
Oh God! Yeah, it is the day after Thanksgiving. You might as well. There might be a lot of leftovers on that.
It could be anything.
And nothing better than the old turkey sandwich with the stuffing and the cranberry sauce on it. Wawa calls it the gobbler. If you ever been to a Wawa.
And if you haven't, what's wrong with you? I shouldn't
say
Oasis,
that. There's none around here. The closest is like a half hour away, and it kills me.
I've only been once, and it was because I was a maid of honor at a wedding in Philadelphia.
Well, they're everywhere there. Yeah, exactly. So. That's what I missed. That's the problem. My girlfriend, she lives from South Jersey. She's like, "There's no Wawa nearby." And I'm like, "I'm sorry."
So there's a lot of things on the card. The doors are open now because it's already 7:40. So we gotta go get ready.
We got an opener. We got a pre-show.
Doing announcing. I'm actually doing commentary again for reasons passing understanding. I have to show Emil that I'm better than him at everything. So Paradise by the Dashboard Light is the name of this show. Nova Pro is the last show of 2016, so you better get your asses down here.
This is the room where it happens over there. I gotta throw the Hamilton thing in there.
I've been watching Gilmore Girls, and they threw a Hamilton reference in, and I spotted it. It was really
great. I was
great.
listening on the way in. I was like, don't sing too much. You're going to lose your voice. But over there is the room where it happens.
Yes. Tickets are $20 at the door, right?
Still on sale. Yeah, you can come by. It's momentarily.
Show starts at 8 o'clock, and we're here at the Fairfax JCC. If you see a really tall chick with glasses and a Papa Hale shirt, it's me. Come say hi.
I haven't seen Papa Hale's. He's got a shirt.
He's rolling in real late so he can make like his special entrance or whatever. He's bringing special guests and stuff like that. Yeah. So thanks for tuning into the podcast, everybody. Cool. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you at the show. Bye.